Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Millennial Money Mastery. My name is Angel Abundis, your host. People call me Coach Angel. And today, joined with me in the studio, we have Jose Jimenez and Emily Carter, two of my proteges, my business partners, my associates, and just some young millennials that have seen what the world has to offer, and you guys are like, no, we want something else. We want something better. So how are you guys doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Doing
Thank
really
you for having us
good.
here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thanks for joining us. I know we have we see each other pretty much every week and everything, but to get you guys into the studio and let the people know what we're all about and what we're doing, and kind of give you guys actual case scenario, case study of how we're helping people with financial freedom, with financial literacy, and guys break the mold and break free, and hopefully you guys have an amazing life in the future. And even now, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, I want to ask you guys. All right, so let's tell us a little bit about yourselves, right? So, tell us about where you grew up. How old you guys are. What are you guys doing? You guys are young millennials, right? Do you consider yourselves millennials or
Maybe
Yeah, I think
Gen
we're Gen
Z?
Z now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are young. So no worry, it's fine. All right, Millennial Money Mastery. We're talking about Gen Zers too. All right, so Jose, go for it.
Okay, so I'm Jose Jimenez, and I grew up in the SoCal area. I grew up most of my life in Montclair. It's real nice out there. So right now I'm working in a warehouse and part-time working here for AP, trying to get a good. Dang, it's so hard. It's so hard to do this like one take.
It was your birthday yesterday. Not yesterday, on Sunday.
Okay.
He just turned 21.
Okay.
Just 21.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Happy
Well,
birthday.
that's what's up. Well, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. We would have posted something, done something for you.
All right.
All right. No, so a couple things. So so you graduated high school, right?
Yeah.
You grew up in the Montclair area, which is SoCal area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or let me ask you a question. When did you graduate high school specifically? Like
The year 2020.
so in the middle of the pandemic,
Yeah.
right? So did you get to walk with your class or anything like that? All that was shut
Yeah,
down.
it wasn't all that,
Yeah. No, I know. My kids got punked too. So, all right. So you graduate high school. What did you do right after high school?
So I was in college. I got a scholarship program that I was lucky enough to get into. I didn't really do much with it because the first year I only did my GED classes. I didn't get to pursue the courses that I really into from the start. So after the second, or like towards the middle of the second year, I kind of fizzled out of the whole college scene and had to drop out. It wasn't really helping me out. So right then and there, I got a full-time job at Jack in the Box. It paid all right.
For a little bit.
But yeah.
That's because you were young, you were single, you didn't have to worry about it, you didn't have a girl, right? You had no kids. That only works for a little bit. But after a while, reality sets in. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to make it making $15-20 an hour. I'm going to have to like step it up, right? So, but all right, so you get out of high school, go to college. You're not going now, right? But you got into working pretty much. So you just got a job. No, you're good. You're good. All right, so and I think that's typical of a lot of people, right? They either go to school or they have some part-time jobs maybe during school, but they get out of school or they realize in midway through school, man, this is not really working out. It's not what I want to do, and they just get into some type of job. And sometimes most people just settle, right? Anything to just make enough money to pay the bills or whatever, right? So, we can jump a little bit more. Obviously, Emily's choking over here. Don't die on us. We love you, Emily. All right, so let me ask you, Jose. What do you think? What was probably the biggest thing as you were in school that made you realize, like, what, school's not for me, or I'm just not gonna finish? Like, what do you think could have been different for you to try finish school?
I feel like because it was during the pandemic when it was like really at its peak. I feel like it affected me in the way that I felt like everything was too far from my reach. I didn't really get to go into the classes myself, and then it felt like everything was gonna take way too long for me to be able to actually put my studies into good use. I went into the criminology field and psychology, but that was gonna take who knows how many years to get into the field that I wanted to go into. Maybe 8, 12 around there. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge, and it's a lot of work. So it takes a lot of time. And
Absolutely.
and it's expensive, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, you got a scholarship, but
Lucky
if
enough.
you had paid, you know, a lot of people walking out of school with a lot of debt. You know, student loans are an epidemic right now. $0.7 trillion in student loan debt, which is really trying to pass student loan debt forgiveness. But the sad reality is, though, most people, you know, they come out of school and, you know, they have, I think the average debt is like $36,000, right? So right off the bat, like you have to start paying this, right? So you have to feel like you're obligated. I got to get any job to start paying bills. You got lucky, you got a scholarship.
Yeah.
But man, sometimes it feels like it wasn't even worth it. Like I'm not even using this degree, or I didn't even finish, and I still have all this debt that I have to deal with or whatever. So, yeah, it's always a challenge.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing when, you know, you're a biology major and you have to go to Starbucks or some like low income store, or you don't feel like you got what you deserve.
Exactly. All right, cool. So, Em, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, you know, where you grew up and, you know, what you've been doing. where you're at right
So
now.
I'm Emily, and I'm turning 20. Yeah, I'm turning 20 in a couple months. And I grew up in like near the Corona area, and I just graduated from high school in 21, so 2 years ago. So it was like around pandemic still, so you know I didn't get to do a lot of the events, and it wasn't the best. And so right after I graduated, I ended up getting a job at Jack in the Box, which is where I met Jose. And to be honest, it just wasn't. I didn't really like it too much. It was a really good experience, and it was a really good like life experience, which I appreciate. But the customers and like just the job itself, which just wasn't the best. I was doing a lot more than what I was getting paid for, and like I just don't like the fact that no matter how hard you work, you're not really gonna get paid more, or if you work less, don't really get paid more. So right now I'm working in a warehouse, and I was like both the one that would like be running around everywhere doing everybody's job. I was like sweating more than everybody, and I was getting the exact same pay as like I am now, which is like I'm doing the bare minimum to like make sure that I still get the job, and like I still get to pay the same thing. Anything I get paid more now, so I'm just like I don't like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
You said a couple of things there. I want to go back because there's a few things that you kind of called out. So you're working at this warehouse job and you're doing all this work. You don't feel like you're like getting paid what you deserve. Feels like you're doing more work than what you should, for what you're getting paid for. I think a lot of people feel that way. There's this concept. You also mentioned something else. Now at this job, the new job, you're not running around sweating, working all crazy, but you're doing just enough to, get the job done, right? To make sure you keep your job. There's this idea called quiet quitting. You guys heard of it, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, you just do just the barely enough, or in some cases you stop working altogether and you just, you actually do quit. But it's just enough where you're not going above and beyond. You're not doing more than what you're paid to do, right? Because you don't feel like it's worth it. Primarily, I would say is because these companies don't care about you, right? Or you don't feel that they care about you. You feel like they're taking advantage of you. You're just a number, whatever, right? Is that how you guys felt before you guys jumped into entrepreneurship and things? Is that how you guys kind of felt? You guys were just a number?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. And like a lot of the time, just well, they put the company a lot before like the people. Like they don't really like we'll get new managers and stuff, and they don't even care to introduce themselves.
Yeah, it's
They'll
crazy.
just like automatic, especially like at the warehouse they work in. A lot of the managers have never worked a warehouse job before, and or if
So
they,
they're hiring people from the outside, not bringing
Yeah.
from not hiring
yeah,
from within.
and like they'll just run around trying to make the place better, but they don't care to get to know how the system works, how we work as people, or like who we are. They don't even introduce themselves. It's like,
Oh, don't
okay.
even get me started on everything that you're saying right now. It's just aggravating to me. It all comes down. Not even so much the company. I mean, it is the company's fault as far as because it's not part of their culture, but it comes down to managers versus leaders, right? You can have. There's a lot of managers out there. There's very few leaders where people really are there to serve their employees, right? The people that are in the trenches, the people that are doing the work, and a lot of times, managers feel like they need to just get into a position of authority or power, start collecting the money, whatever, and then I can just sit back and do nothing, right? And I don't have to worry about getting to know you or how the system works, whatever. You guys just figure it out and just do the work, right? And make me look good. So, but it's kind of messed up, and I think a lot of companies, I think this is the mentality, right? That you do feel like you're just a number. Obviously, I'm sure at the fast food place that you were working at felt the same. You felt the same way about it, right? You guys, these are huge conglomerates. They have thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, employees all around the country, the world. You do feel like you are just a number, right? Like you don't really matter. So why am I going to go above and beyond? Why am I going to go do extra work? And like you said, you made a point. There's only so many hours in the day, paid hourly, right? And this is a very good point that we will make sure our audience thinks about. When you work hourly, right? You're getting paid, even if you're salary, and you still look at it like on an hourly basis, you will always be limited in how much money you can make when you think that way, because there's only so many hours in the day. So you have a very high per hour rate. You're still capped by the number of hours you can work. So there's limitations on how much you can make. When you think about entrepreneurship, there is no limitation, right? When you think about sales or whatever, if I can sell any product or anything I want, I could sell a product that's super expensive. I can have huge margins on it. I could sell a lot, or I can go the Walmart approach and try to sell a lot of something that makes me just a few bucks or pennies on the dollar or whatever, and I'm just gonna sell millions and millions and millions of something, right? But companies don't care about you, and it sometimes makes it very to want to go above and beyond, especially when you know that no matter how hard I work, there's limits. There's only so much I can make. It sounds like you guys kind of hit that point. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your transition, where you guys were mentally. So you guys were already working at this warehouse thing. You already come off working from the fast food spot. Emily, you were in school. You're still in school?
I was in school while working part-time in the warehouse, but it was starting to become like a lot because school itself has a lot of workload. And then I was just trying to start up my life insurance, the life financial is on the side, which is also very time consuming. And on top of that, I was still working part-time at a labor job. So I was working a lot, I was standing a lot, I was running around, and it started becoming like too much. And I was helping out my family. I was helping out my sister with her babies and like keeping the house clean, and it was a lot. So I ended up dropping school, and I'm trying to like get this ready so I could work for myself more, because that way I can have a lot more time for my family, because right now I can't really see them too much. So I can have more time for my family, I can have more time for myself, so I can start up different businesses, because I have a couple projects on the works. But I just, while working part-time, it's also hard to be able to have time for everything.
Yeah, no, and that's the story for every entrepreneur, that it's all about prioritization and learning to balance your workload, your life, especially if you have family, if you're married or have a significant other, spouse, kids. It's something that you're always going to struggle with, no matter, even if you have a regular job, right? You're still going to have to prioritize. Okay, I got to come home from work at a reasonable time, spend time with the kids, quality time with the spouse, and so it's the same thing, right? But I like the idea though that you understood though that entrepreneurship should give you, hopefully in the near future, the flexibility and more opportunities to have more time for yourself, right? Because you're not bound to a schedule or something like that, right? Where like at a regular job, W-2, right? You're there when they tell you to be there, right?
Yeah.
You're on their schedule, you're on their time. So let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so Jose, you guys are in this job. You guys are thinking through, you guys are seeing, some of the challenges. I'm sure. What are some of the things that might have happened in this job, this warehouse job, that like made you guys kind of get your like, oh, I can't stand this place. I need to do something for myself. Like before you made the decision to get into entrepreneurship, did anything happen? Any scenario? Any issues?
We recently had an issue where we wanted to hours that were supposed to be paid for from the company. We saved them up at the end of the year before the cutoff date. We were under the impression that we were going to get paid, and we come back the next year, and they let us know that like, oh yeah, we didn't put them in the right way. So before we missed 3 days worth of pay, and then after tax, that was $510. So our checks came back, and we were missing like almost half of it. Super unfair. I didn't respect the way that they handled the situation. We ended up figuring it out, but it went, and we had to go through like plenty of people. It was unfortunate. But the reason why I got into the I want to say entrepreneurship is because I realized that after crunching numbers, you're not going to get too far in life if you continue to work in the same spot, working for someone else, basically. You're not gonna go too far. I feel like this industry and agency will allow me to succeed way further than where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way when I was going through my transition and stuff. So let's talk about that. So, what made you guys choose? So you guys obviously were working. You guys realized, okay, we need to do our own thing, basically, right? I need to start my own business, right? It's kind of like what you guys came to, right? The realization. Yeah. What made you guys choose out of all the different things you guys could do? And there's a bunch of different things out there, selling stuff on Etsy, eBay, Amazon, whatever, right? All kinds of different ways that you guys can make money. What made you guys choose financial services? Like, what was it? Was it a specific situation that someone you guys know?
Well, for me personally, it's also like everyone around like my age, like my friends and some of my family members, like money has just always been like a big mystery. Like how to handle money, how to make it work for yourself. I didn't even know you can make money work for yourself. Like all I ever knew was you have to go to a 9-to-5 job, and like those people like that are wealthy or like celebrities, like they're just lucky. Like they came from like nowhere, but they just got like lucky. Like that's never gonna happen to me. But like it's possible. Like something like it changed my way of thinking, being like a financial expert, because like it makes you realize like it's not that hard. Like it's hard, but it's not that like impossible. You just have to like put your mind to it. You just have to like see it visually and like already picture yourself having it and like just put in the work, and like it can happen, and it makes it, I want to like share with my friends and like share with people I know, like that money doesn't have to be so hard to keep. You just have to learn how to manage it.
Dude, there's so much wisdom in what you just said right now. Like a lot of people to come to that realization, like it's like a miracle. Like I swear, like I think God has to come down, like hit someone on the head, and like just the hallelujah chorus comes down and enlightens them with this information. What you just said is very profound, and I want to make sure it's not lost in the audience. Like understanding how money works, understanding that you can make money work for you, right? Understanding that you should have knowledge. There's knowledge out there, money that doesn't have to be this mysterious, like thing that you can't understand, or it's only for rich, people that have a lot of money already. That they're the ones that can figure things out. It's like no. Like there's basic common stuff that it's just not taught. It's not taught. It wasn't taught to us in school, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the. I say this, and I say this in my coaching classes. I think one of the biggest failures in America is this lack of financial literacy. Like we've done a great job of talk capitalism and all this stuff, and we have the system in place so that anyone can make it here in our country, right? But the basic financial principles aren't taught in schools anymore, right?
Personally, I think like everyone can have their own opinion, but I think that like school is very much prepared to like workers. They're not really prepared to like create
entrepreneurs.
There you go. Yeah. Entrepreneurs are like people that think their own way. Like they're scheduled for like people that do what they're told. You show up to school on time. You're gonna be doing the classes I choose for you, and I don't care what you want to do. And then like there's only one answer. So if you do like figure out the answer like a different way, you got it wrong. You have to do it the same way as everybody else, and like you have to be at the same level as everybody else. I'm just like
we talk a lot about that, Emily. You fit right in. No wonder you fit right in with us. That's basically it, right? The education system in America was designed to create factory workers. It was designed at a time at the turn of the century in the 1900s when people were getting into these factors and needed people to just have a basic common knowledge of how things work, right? 1 + 1 = 2 kind of thing, right? But it was designed to create creative, entrepreneurial solving people, right? So think about it. All you're taught in school is just memorize these facts, right? Memorize them. We're going to give you a test to see if you memorize them, and then that constitutes the grade that you get, right?
Yeah.
And now things are starting to change with some common core or whatever they have to force you to think critically, or if you don't do the problem exactly showed you, it's wrong. But there's so many other ways. I think the real thing that gets lost is the creativity and the critical thinking. Like I teach my kids, no matter what, just think for yourself, question things, question reality, question authority to a certain degree, right? don't just conform. Don't just go along with it because they tell you it's the truth.
Yeah.
So, all right. So financial services. Why specifically financial services, Jose, for you?
The reason I'd say that I wanted to go into financial services is because I feel like this place helps out a lot of people for starters, and it's the market that makes the most money, where I can actually go and work as hard as the pay goes. It's relative to how much you work rather than how long you've been working.
So it's gonna make you wealthy and rich.
Yeah, I feel like I already answered this question. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, no, that's good. Yeah, financial services is an amazing industry. Financial services has created more millionaires and more billionaires than any other industry. No other industry has created that many millionaires and billionaires. So, it's an amazing industry. I've been in the financial services industry for 20 years now, a little over 20 years, and it's great. And there's so many different facets of it, right? From money management and wealth management, all that stuff, and being a stockbroker and all that, or to real estate and insurance, whether you want to be like life insurance or PNC or whatever, and everything in between, right? There's so many different things within the financial industry that you can do, and I include probably taxes and all that in there. That it's multifaceted, and there's a lot of different ways that you can extract value from it. And if you bring something to the market, right, that people need, that people want, that's help them, it makes you feel good because it's a whole profession, right? You're providing something that can help people, with their future, and not just them, but like their kids and their generations, be beyond them, right? So financial services is an amazing industry. That's why I chose it. So yeah. You do a lot of good. And there's a lot to learn. You said it can be a little complicated.
Yeah.
But once you start to like break things down and get to the basics, like the foundations in place, then things get easier to understand.
Yeah.
So good stuff. So let me ask you guys. You guys chose financial services. We got that. But why did you guys choose America's Financial Group and Firelight Financial, right? My organization. Like, what it sounded like from when we talked before, you guys were contemplating going somewhere else, and you guys were thinking about where it is that you guys wanted to settle into. What made you guys choose Firelight Financial and America's Financial Group? Maybe talk to us a little bit about that, like how you guys started getting interested into joining financial services, and then how you guys ended up here.
I can start it off. Well, I had this friend that kind of went MIA for a little bit, and he came back to Instagram, and he had posted a couple things along the lines of like, oh, if you want to start making money, like go ahead and click this link or something like that. Swipe up him and send me a message through DM. Turns out working for America's Pride, and he was trying to recruit people. Oh, I'm so sorry. He was trying to work for Primerica, and he was trying to recruit people through their business. And it's a great marketing tactic. I definitely have to say, because I was one of the people that clicked on it, and I learned how he was making his money, because he was posting a lot of like luxury cars, a lot of nice things, and he's just always out. And they do things like they pay for your trips and stuff like that. And I guess we could say that we saw that and kind of like got attached and emotional towards like all of the things that he's around, but he doesn't really have. And so we talked to him. He tried to set us up like to join his agency like right then and there. And we looked at each other and we kind of thought like, maybe this isn't the right choice, because he's kind of like pushing it. Mm-hmm. So the next day afterwards, we talked the situation out with your dad. And we were lucky enough to get partnered up and in contact with Angel. Angel allowed us to have maybe an hour of his time, and he presented America's Pride through just a little slideshow that he showed us, and it looked a lot, more upfront, and it didn't really make too many promises. It just said like, if you put in the hours and you are consistent, you can get the lavishes and luxuries that they have. He didn't really push it as much as he was pushing it, as in like, oh, like you can join us. He said, if you think about it and you come to us, you're going to make the right choice at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And then like something I found interesting, piggybacking off of you, your friend or his friend made it very like, now, we have to do it right now. And then he was just he did feel very like pushy, and it did feel like a little bit off, something about him. Not off, but just didn't feel like the right decision. And then when we talked to you, you were very like, honestly, you can just look at all your options. You can actually like think about it. You don't have to give me an answer now. And then like it just felt a lot more like the right decision.
Comforting.
Yeah, a lot more like you actually wanted to help out. I believe he wanted to help out too, but it just seemed very pushy about it.
Yeah, and I got recruited that way too, and it was very, very pushy. But I was one of those where like you could say no wrong. I had a specific reason for wanting to do it, but yeah, I've taken that stance. Like I don't need to sit here and try to you this dream and all this stuff. Like the reality of your situation. The choices that you made have brought you to this point in your life, right? You're a sum of all the decisions you've made. So if you don't like your job, you don't like how much money you're making, you don't like where you're at in life, all those types of things, like I can show you the way, right? And I can point to it, and I don't have to sit here and try to sell you and be like, do it, we're gonna make so much money and blah blah, and promise you the world. And then because then what happens when you do join and it's not all rainbows and unicorns and it's hard work and you got to make calls and you got to show up and you got to trainings and all this stuff. I'm gonna get interviewed over here. I mean, all kinds of stuff, right? So yeah, like I just try to be real with people and be honest and like be transparent, and I think people respect that, right? Because I'm not sitting here trying to sell your dream. Like personally, like I don't want to drive fancy cars. Like, yeah, that's nice, it's great, but I don't need to be all about that, and I don't need to portray that, because at the end of the day, like first of all, I got a family of 6. How many kids can I fit in a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not realistic. It's not real to who I am, right? But you guys are younger. You guys don't have kids, and it's different. I get that, and I know that appeals to people. But we've just kind of taken that stance here in this organization that we don't need to push that. All that stuff will come if you put in the work, and if you're upfront with people and you're honest. Look, and we don't charge people, right? One thing for sure, we don't charge people, right? The organization charges, right?
Yeah.
We don't charge for training. We don't charge for all the normal basic stuff. And some companies charge up to like $200 to join their companies and everything. We're like, we don't want to do that. We want to help people start making money, not try to give me your money right now. How much money can I take from you? So yeah. So I'm glad you brought this. I think that's important for as far as like how we try to run our organization, and it seems like that's what stood out to you guys. So that's cool. So yeah, America's Pride. We're trying to do that, man. We're trying to change lives, and so we give you guys a platform to be able to really people, but more importantly too, so that you guys can success and you guys can change your lives, right? So, entrepreneurship gives you that ability. What's probably the one thing that you're looking forward to? Like, let's say, 3 years, 5 years from now, right? You guys keep going. You guys, doing amazing, building out a team. Where do you see yourselves? What do you think this industry, becoming a financial expert and financial services and everything, where do you see it taking you? Like, what do you see yourself doing 3, 5, 10 years from now?
You mind if I start?
You can start.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like in this industry, you give us the platform to maybe get a map sort of what we are able to do. We walked through a little let's say quote of a life insurance plan that would allow us to, at some point, maybe 5, 6 years down the line, pull out some money to be able to buy our own property. And you gave us plenty of options and opportunities to show what that's like and what we're able to do with the policies that you've given us. Things like that. I feel like the main reason why people should start joining in America's Pride, especially if you're an English speaker, we're about 5% of the company, 5% of speakers. And, it's a great start since, we're kind of new. Maybe we're getting ourselves out there, 5, 6 years?
Yeah, we're 4 years old, but as far as like our English speaking teams, people have come and gone, but right now we're kind of starting fresh. Okay. The majority of our companies all Spanish speakers or folks, but we really want to focus on the millennial American market, let's call it. And you guys are obviously a big part of that, so we're happy you guys are here.
There's plenty to work with.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Where do you see yourself, Emily?
In 5, 6 years? Well, okay. I have in 5, 6 years. I want to have I want to have 3 businesses already up and going, and I want to be at a point where my money is, what's the word?
Renewing, rejuvenating.
Basically, working on its own.
Yes, I understand.
Without if I want to take a break, I can take a break without having to be worried I need money, and I don't want to be stressed. Oh yeah, so I want to have 3 businesses up and running already like going well,
Good. Profitable, making money, passive income,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah, no, that's good. You know what? And that's a good point that you bring up, right? Because we don't, even though, we have a financial service, financial opportunity or business opportunity for you. We also talk about just entrepreneurship in general, right? And the core mantras of our company are building leaders and building legacies. And we're teaching leadership, but we're teaching entrepreneurship, business skills, and more importantly too, like just that mental attitude of saying, hey, like whatever it is that you want to go after, we can help you get there, right? We can help you structure a business plan, and just believing in yourself and knowing that, hey, you have everything within you to do it. You just have to, like I said, believe in yourself and go after it and work after it every day after day, consistently, and then it'll happen. So I love the fact that you have these dreams, these visions, right? These 3 businesses or whatever, how many businesses you want to start. But that it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. It's going to take time. It's going to take resources. Yeah. And we're happy to come alongside and help do it. And I personally count you guys thriving and what you guys are going to do in the next, few years. So for our audience, if you're out there, if you want an opportunity, maybe you were like Emily and Jose, you guys are working fast food or warehouse jobs or just kind of any old job just to pay the bills and just doing whatever you have to do, right, to make it. Maybe you want something different. Maybe you want a different type of life, a different lifestyle. And entrepreneurship, business ownership is the way to go. Having a side hustle, having extra side incomes while you're working, while you're doing whatever it is that you want to do, while you're going to school or whatever, is the way to go. Because that side income is what helps you build your dreams, right? It's going to give you the capital you need to invest in that next venture or invest in the future for your retirement that's going to give you a great life, or just the money to live and travel and have fun stuff, right? So entrepreneurship is a great choice. If you want help, if you want more information about what we do, how we do it, how we make money, how we help people, then reach out to us. Here are our social media handles right below. Hit us up, and you can find me on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, especially Angel Abundance 257, Angel Abundance 257, and you can also find our company Firelight Finance and Millennial Money Masteries. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit that bell and get notified whenever we put out new content. So, Jose, what do you want to leave our audience with?
You're gonna remember me in about 5 years. My name's gonna be big.
All right, Jose Jimenez is gonna be big. You're gonna know his names and lights. That's right, flashing lights. Go ahead.
I don't even know. Big things are coming.
What's a tip? What's something that for a young millennial like you guys, that's around your age, 18 to 25, what is it? What kind of advice do you have for them to get started? Let's say maybe they're thinking about it, they're not sure, they want to do something, maybe they're frustrated with where they're at in life. Since joining and since starting in your own entrepreneurial journey, how motivated do you feel? How excited do you feel? How has that changed? How has your perception of life and what it is that you guys are doing? How has that changed?
Honestly, if you have any sort of little ideas throughout your day, and you have a little idea, whether it's to start YouTube or if it's to start up a business or if it's to start getting serious about your future, your financial future, actually do research on it. Look into it, look what other people have done, look at videos, what help get you motivated. If there's or something that gets you in the mood to start working hard, keep that on replay, and actually work for it, and make yourself a little plan of what you want in 90 days, a year, 2 years, 5 years, and work hard at it. There's no way it's gonna just pop up in front of you. There's no little special food you need to take or anything like that, a special event that has to happen to you. You have to create your own moments. You have to create your moments. Yeah.
That's great.
If it feels uncomfortable, it's probably the right thing to do. So you should probably take the risks now before someone else does.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good stuff. That good bits of wisdom there. So hopefully you guys are killing it out there. Hopefully this channel is giving you guys some value. Make sure you smash that like again. And we'll catch you next time. Millennial Money Mastery. See you. Peace out, everybody.
Woo!